A raven perches high on a gnarled branch, clutching cheese in its beak. Below, concealed in the shadows, a fox watches, planning its move. In India, millions of sixth-grade students encounter this exact scenario in their English curriculum. The textbook exercise teaches a straightforward lesson: do not let sweet words trick you into dropping your guard. But this simple classroom story relies on a 2,000-year-old psychological blueprint. The exact same narrative was quoted by Roman poets like Horace in the 1st century. This reconstruction of an ancient Greek vase shows the same dynamic at play: a fox looking up at a crow. The trap was already widely recognized in antiquity. Over the centuries, the scene spread across continents and mediums. You can find it carved into the columns of medieval Romanesque churches like this one in Spain, and it was even built into the hydraulic statues of King Louis XIV's labyrinth at Versailles. As this tree illustrates, the fable acts like a cultural virus. The original Aesop root splits off into French, German, and Russian adaptations. It survives across millennia by mutating its moral to fit the specific anxieties of whatever society is telling it. The earliest surviving Greek and Latin texts by Aesop and Babrius carry a harsh, blunt tone. The fox is not trying to teach a polite lesson; he has purely predatory intent. When the bird opens its beak and loses the cheese, the fox delivers a sharp reality check. He eats the food and then mocks the victim, joking that the bird has a voice and has everything except brains. Horace applied the story directly to the cutthroat politics of Rome. He warned legacy hunters that if the crow could only feed in silence, it would have kept its prize and avoided a lot of envy. In the ancient world, the moral isn't about being virtuous. It is an assessment of the survival cost of being foolish. If you fall for flattery, you deserve to starve. By the 17th century, Jean de La Fontaine updated the story for French society. He cast the fox as a sophisticated rogue who politely informs the crow that the moral lesson he just delivered is ample payment for the stolen cheese. This lack of consequence caused outrage in certain Christian circles. Readers were frustrated that the fox's manipulation and theft went entirely unpunished. Audiences demanded justice, leading to cultural patches. In a folk song version from Saskatchewan, a sequel is added where the fox dies and the crow happily caws from a branch, thanking fate for the revenge. The German writer Gotthold Ephraim Lessing took the retribution even further. In his rewrite, a gardener leaves poisoned meat to kill rats. The raven picks it up, the fox flatters him for it, and then dies in agony. These sequels exist because later audiences shifted from valuing raw survival to demanding social justice. Societies developed a deep need to see clever manipulation balanced by real moral consequence. In the 19th century, Ivan Krylov penned the Russian adaptation, Vorona i Lisica. It became a cornerstone of national literature, memorized by generations of schoolchildren. Krylov dials the flattery to its absolute extreme. His fox praises the raven's beautiful neck, exclaims over its eyes, and claims the bird looks as if it stepped straight out of a fairy tale. The praise is so thick, it completely blinds the victim to reality. Overwhelmed by all the compliments, the raven puffs out its chest and tilts its head up in pure, arrogant pride. At this point, the physical reaction takes over, and the loss of the cheese becomes inevitable. Krylov's version isolates the real mechanics of manipulation. The fox is merely a catalyst. The true weapon used against the raven is the bird's own desperate need to be praised. Which brings us back to that 6th grade classroom in India. After tracing the story through poisoned German foxes and wildly exaggerated Russian flattery, the textbook exercise seems deceptively simple. Yet this specific dynamic, a bird, a fox, and a piece of cheese, has outlived empires, architectural styles, and dead languages. It remains a permanent mirror because human psychology hasn't received a software upgrade in 2 millennia. We are just as vulnerable to the intoxicating feeling of being told we are special today as audiences were in ancient Rome. This animation shows how modern validation mechanisms, like notifications and digital applause, operate on the exact same frequency as the fox's charm. Flattery remains the most efficient hack to bypass our critical thinking. The story endures because the physics of pride are constant. The moment we let our ego open our mouths, we drop exactly what we were trying to hold on to.